Hey everyone, Aaron here, and welcome back to another anime review. Today we are looking at episode 3 of Big Order. Now, Big Order episode 2 left, I think, a lot of people wondering what the future of the show was. A lot of people I was watching reviews did not find this show that great. You know, they loved the first episode. It was like an inclusive thing. Everyone loved the first episode of Big Order, but the second episode really turned people off. Actually, so much so that people were complaining and whining that this show might not be good. And you know, I'm not trying to say that I think Miraniki is kind of making it where I think that the show is any better than it should be. I just think Big Order does something that you do not see too often in anime, and that is being so radically different in its approach of how it's explaining its story and the characters introduced. Now, once again, we start off with AG, who's, you know, once again reminiscing about his sister and, you know, her predicament. He's looking at her being frozen in time by one of the orders of the top of the 10, and you know, he is still wondering how he's going to really make use of this order of 10 and make so that they will find a cure for her sister. Now, very quickly on, he is then told that they're going to explain what they want to do in terms of taking over the world, at least the first step of taking over the one main branch in Japan. And, you know, this is where we see that the Order of 10 do not see Eiji as a real king. They see Eiji as this guy who is a puppet, no more, no more less. Even if he has the power to dominate them and to rule over them, they do not seem too worried about any of that, actually, ironically enough. They seem like they're just okay with it and aren't like actually even threatening him still, despite him having presence over them. Now, what he then ends up doing is he ends up then talking to one of the heads of the actual group that they're going against, and the guy makes a kind of predicament where he shows that he has several hostages and he plans on killing them. Now, ironically enough, you know, AG comes up with the brilliant strategy to actually then show that he's not messing around, that he's not afraid to go against the big guys, and he actually kills his top 10. Well, it looks like that on screen, but he actually made it so that their order powers would actually avoid the bullets, and more so his own order powers influenced also. Now, the episode then has AG and Rin and several others go to defeat this thing called the Rock God, which apparently is an avatar controlled by another order, and they want to go defeat it. And along the way, they do run into an issue, but luckily they are saved after several moments by a supposed prophet who claims that her rabbit ears, if touched, make her pregnant. Yet, you know, I thought that was a joke. I thought maybe, oh man, she just had it where, you know, her father, because she claims that her father was the one who told her that. And I thought it was a joke. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's just that she doesn't understand how pregnancy works. Well, then the scene comes up where he accidentally grabs her rabbit ears in order to save her, and she gets pregnant. That's essentially how this episode ends. You see Rin saving what looks like a little girl, but also at the same time you see this girl saying that she's about to give birth in a few moments. I've taken sexual education classes before, and I don't think I've ever heard of touching a certain, you know, accessory on a woman that makes her pregnant. But, you know, who knows? Maybe this world, maybe that future has that where you touch a part of their body and they instantly become pregnant. That'd be kind of weird, but, you know, Big Order is weird. Big Order is very weird, but, you know, there's something about this weirdness that I'm actually digging. This show is, I think, trying to go against a lot of tropes and weird things that you see all the time in anime and make them almost like a comical relief in the show that actually is focusing on, I don't know, it's just how crazy this show is. And, you know, I thought originally it could be that I liked Miraniki so much that I thought, okay, maybe I'm linking these two together. You know, maybe Future Diary has kind of perverted me in the sense that I want to love this show so much. And ironically, you know, I would think that, but I've had other shows that were made by certain creators, like, for example, case in point, Charlotte, made by the guy who, you know, made by the group that made Angel Beats and Clan Ed and all that. I didn't like Charlotte that much. I thought Charlotte was okay. And what made me think of that is then I realized, well, I loved Angel Beats and Clannad so much that I instantly thought, you know, any show that they ever make would make me fall in love with it. So I'm not being, I think, changed or altered to love Big Order any more than I do. More so, I just like this show because I think it's a good show worth watching. You know, I honest to God am enjoying all my moments watching it. I think it's, you know, it's got its quirks. I think it's got its, you know, oddness that people might dislike, and I clearly can see that already happening because it seems like every episode you see rants and raves about it on YouTube. But I honestly dig it. I really think it's worth watching still. You know, where's it going? What's it going to be about? Well, this show is only 10 episodes. That means we have 7 episodes left. And I'm very curious what is actually going to be resolved in the show or what's going to actually happen in it. Because I'm trying to make predictions and I can't do that yet, which is very odd because usually by episode 2, I can already make some predictions. And this show is kind of throwing me for a loop a little bit. But other than that though, really guys and girls, I say if you're watching Big Order, I'd still keep going with it. I think its quirkiness and weirdness to it is making the show that much better. Now, also just to kind of end this video, I will be having a Kids Night review coming up when it airs. And I will also have my anime haul, which will be at 12 o'clock around that time. So I will hope you guys stick around for those things. Anyways, guys and girls, have a great weekend if you don't watch another video, if you only came here to watch Big Order. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.